Letizia Ortiz Rocasolano was born on September 15, 1972 at Meyer Sanatorium in Oviedo, Asturias, the eldest daughter of Gs. Ortiz Alvarez, a journalist, and his first wife, Mara de la Paloma Rocasolano Rodriguez, a registered nurse and hospital union representative. Letizia is Queen of Spain, the wife of King Felipe VI. As the consort of the ruling monarch, Letizia has no constitutional functions of her own, and it is constitutionally prohibited to do so unless she assume the role of regent. In this sense, the Queen performs public commitments representing the crown, often with her husband, but she is focused on being the patron, president, or member of numerous charities and organizations, and she is the visible face of the Spanish international cooperation, often traveling around the world supervising and promoting it. Ortiz attended La Gesta school in Oviedo before her family moved to Rivas Vaciamadrid ni Madrid, where she attended the Ramiro de Mestu High School. She completed a bachelor's degree in journalism at the Complutense University of Madrid, as well as a master's degree in audiovisual journalism. During her studies, Ortiz worked for the Asturian daily newspaper La Nueva España, later for the newspaper Abcand, the national news agency. After completing her master's degree, she traveled to Guadalajara, Mexico, where she worked at the newspaper Siglo XXI and began work toward Ph.D. She did not, however, complete her doctoral thesis because she returned to Spain. After returning to Spain, she worked for the Spanish version of the economic channel Bloomberg, moving to the news network in Plus. Ortiz married Alonso Guerrero Pérez, born in 1962, a writer and a high school literature teacher, on August 7, 1998, in a simple civil ceremony at Taldurgel in Badajoz. After a 10-year courtship, the marriage was dissolved by divorce in 1999. On November 1, 2003, to the surprise of many, the royal household announced Ortiz's engagement to Prince Felipe. Afterwards, she moved to live in a wing of Thesaurzuela Palaciuntal the day of her wedding. The Prince of Asturias had proposed to her with a 16B Agu TT diamond engagement ring with a white gold trim. She marked the occasion by giving him white gold and sapphire cufflinks and a classic book. The wedding took place on May 22, 2004 in the Almudena Cathedral in Madrid. It was the first royal wedding in this cathedral. It had been nearly a century since the capital celebrated a royal wedding, as the prince's parents married in Athens and his sisters, Infanta Elena and Infanta Cristina, married in Seville and Bessel. Letizia's bridal gown was designed by Spanish fashion designer Manuel Pertigas, her bridal shoes by Pura El Pez, and the veil, a gift from Felipe to his bride, was made of off-white silk tulle and hand-embroidered with detailing. Letizia and Felipe have two daughters, Leonor, Princess of Asturias, born on October 31, 2005, and Infanta Sofía, born on April 29, 2007. They were born in the Rubber International Hospital in Madrid. Princess Letizia immediately joined in the duties of her husband and traveled extensively through Spain representing her father-in-law. They also represented Spain in other countries. She has traveled along with her husband to Jordan, Mexico, Peru, Hungary, the Dominican Republic, Panama, the United States, United Kingdom, Serbia, Brazil, Uruguay, Sweden, Denmark, China, and Portugal. She also greeted international dignitaries, along with other members of the royal family, and attended gatherings of foreign royalty in Luxembourg for the silver wedding anniversary of Grand Duke. Letizia's solo agenda was announced in 2006, shortly after the announcement of her second pregnancy. Letizia has performed a couple of audiences, and her work focuses on social issues such as children's rights, rare diseases, culture, and education. In late 2007, her solo agenda started to grow in the number of events she performed by herself, and Felipe's and Letizia's agendas became more distinct and separate. In September 2010, the Spanish Association Against Cancer AECC appointed her as honorary president of the association and its scientific foundation. The Second International Conference on Nutrition, organized by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, where she delivered the main speech. In her speech, she praised the role of women in the fight against hunger, described as unacceptable that more than 850 million people in the world suffer from hunger, and demanded that the food industry balance its commercial interests with its responsibility to eradicate obesity. In December 2014, she chaired the General Meeting of the Spanish Association Against Cancer, an association that she has chaired since 2010 and which she continues to do as Queen. During 2015, Letizia continued giving support to social causes related to relevant diseases, attending events and meetings of the Spanish Association Against Cancer, the Spanish Federation of Rare Diseases, and the Spanish Red Cross, among others. The King and Queen had planned their first state visit for March 2015 to France. However, on March 24, 2015, they had to postpone the visit due to the pilot of Germanwings Flight 952 deliberately crashing the plane in the French Alps, killing 150 people, including 51 Spaniards. They resumed the state visit on early June, being welcomed by French President François Hollande. They also met the Prime Minister, Manuel Valls, the President of the French Senate, Gerard Larcher, the President of the National Assembly, Claude Bartheloni, and the Mayor of Paris and Hidalgo. On April 13, 2015, Queen Letizia visited the Artillery Academy, which marked her first solo military event. A few days later, she traveled with her husband to Copenhagen, Denmark, to commemorate the 75th birthday of Queen Margaret II. Also in March, Letizia made the first of the two international trips she had in 2016. She accompanied King Felipe to Puerto Rico in order to chair the 7th International Congress of the Spanish Language. On April 22, 2016, the King and Queen gave audience to Spanish figure skater Javier Fernández after winning the 2016 World Championship, his second consecutive title. To finish the year, in late November 2016, the Spanish monarchs made a state visit to Portugal, where they met Portuguese President Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa and Prime Minister Antonio Costa, among others. While the king was fulfilling his constitutional obligations before the Portuguese authorities, the Queen met with the president of the Portuguese League Against Cancer, Vitor Veloso. 2017 started very like the past year, with Letizia meeting some relevant social organizations that she chaired. In February, both Spanish monarchs welcomed important foreign leaders at the Royal Palace of Zarzuela, such as the German President Joachim Gauck and his wife, Gerhild Radke, and the Hungarian President János Durand, his wife, Anita Herceg. Precisely, in an event with these last guests, the royals learned the initial judicial ruling that declared Diaki Erdogan, the king's brother-in-law, guilty of several corruption crimes. Leonor to the delivery of the Princess of Asturias Awards, the first time for the young princess. The heir to the throne delivered her first speech in public in this event. In the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, King Felipe had to isolate himself in quarantine for testing positive for coronavirus in several occasions between 2020 and 2022. While he was isolated, the Queen replaced him in those events for which she was constitutionally authorized. Awards delivery, lunches, inauguration of events, etc., but not in those activities tightly related to constitutional responsibilities such as the working meeting with the President of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Alko Komi, in 2022, which had to be postponed. For the 2020 Rei Jaime I Awards in Valencia, Queen Letizia presented the award winners with their gold medals and gave a short speech praising the talent, effort, and generosity of prize winners. After a one-month delay to avoid interfering with the electoral campaign of the 2023 general election, on July 25, 2023, the King and Queen inaugurated the Royal Collections Gallery, a new museum sponsored by Patrimonio Nacional, the government agency that guards the crown assets. 2023, she traveled with her youngest daughter, Sof A, to Australia see Stefanilov the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup at Winspanington. England, the Queen delivered the trophy to the world champions, Spain, and celebrated with them on the pitch. Indirectly, this drew criticism to the British royal family for their absence from the event. On May 21, 2004, the day before her marriage to Felipe, Letizia was appointed a Dame Grand Cross of the Royal and Distinguished Order of Charles III. Since then, Letizia has received different appointments and decorations by foreign states and other Spanish honors. Letizia was styled as Her Royal Highness the Princess of Asturias from her marriage to her husband's accession in 2014 and as Her Majesty the Queen since. Thanks for watching.